Welcome back to another video by VarietyMMOs. My name is Coffee and today I'll be doing the PvP guide on the Giant. And before I jump into the video, I do want to say thank you to you guys that gave me some feedback on my last PvP video. I heard you, I've changed the format up, I've been more informative and I've done a couple of things differently. Let me know if this video is any better. If not, please suggest some stuff and I'll do what I can. Now, I won't be covering any stuff when it comes to stats for the Giant, as we will be doing a guide when it comes to the full class for PvE, bosses, etc. and all the stats carry over. Okay, so this is the build here. It's pretty straightforward as there's only 8 abilities that you can have on a wheel at a time. So yeah, first wheel and the second wheel. So yeah, after I've gone into the arena in a second, I'm going to show you all the combinations, then I'm going to show you a couple of fights, and then I'm going to put 1 or 2 fights at the end of my favorite stuff that I've done recently. Okay, so before we actually jump into the combinations, I do want to show you guys some skills that we're not going to use and explain quickly why we haven't used them in this build, but we will probably use them in different types of builds. Storm and Beast, just not that great, and inflicts bound, but we don't need it because we've got other abilities that do that that's better. Then we have Fear Strike. It's okay, but the damage output isn't as good. It's just a quick animation of 2 strike, but you know, in general, it doesn't work with this other build. Then we have the Frenzied. This ability here is okay. The damage is actually alright. It inflicts bound. You could actually swap this one out for this ability here, as they're both quite similar. However, the testing that I did, it was better damage overall. However, it's actually okay because I've got to do more testing, but it's potentially a better pick just because it's got 3 strikes and the animation might be just long enough that the crowd control will go through. Fallen Rock, we don't need it. It's useful. It's similar to this ability here, the Predator Hunt, but this is just overall better than that one because it's got more charges, etc. Rage and Thunder, we don't need it. The DPS is not that great, and generally speaking, somebody's going to roll out. It inflicts knockback on the last hit. If they're in your range while you're still trying to spin, while you're only moving slowly, then they're not very good. So yeah, it can be useful, but overall, don't use it. Then we have Earth Shatter. This is a pretty good ability, inflicts knockdown on last hit, so quick animation, not too bad DPS. Also something that I would consider throwing in instead of this ability here, only because it moves forward though, so it means more mobility. Giant's Roar, you just don't need it. It's just not that good. The damage output is fine, but you would use Fearsome Tyrant over it, and they both got similar cooldowns, so it's just not worthwhile having on there. Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys a handful of basic combinations and some more advanced ones. But to do that, I need to teach you a little bit about crowd control and how it works. So just the basics, that is. So basically, they have diminishing returns and there's 3 different levels of crowd control. There's the simple daze, then there's the knock up, or knock down that is, and then there's the grab. So a grab will take full control of the enemy and swing them around, and you will be able to grab them over and over depending on how many grabs you have. To counter crowd control, it's either diminishing returns, meaning that they've been doing a lot and it won't really affect you as long or as often anymore. Therefore, if you kept trying to use a 3rd level crowd control or a daze or whatever it may be, eventually you'll realize that your daze is no longer hitting him nearly as often. For the Giant, you need to be closing gaps all the time. In order to be able to close gaps, you need to not be crowd control, so you have to counter that, and that's where this charge comes into play. So a lot of the abilities work around this here. They also work around this ability here, and these 2. Alright, so I'm going to try and break it right down so you guys can understand it and see how it all works. I'm also going to show you in real battles after each time I do the combination. So the first one that I'm going to show you is simply charging at the opponent, and when you get to him, you're going to use the A button. The reason being is that you don't want to actually crowd control him in the sense of using your grab, because if you use your grab, then your second crowd control won't actually work on him. So let's do that one more time. I'm going to go ahead and cast my A. It's going to daze him, then it's going to knock him down. The reason being that I want to do that is so now I grab him, and then I'm going to do more damage. Then I'm going to come back to my A and place more damage on him. If I went ahead and ran at him and then I grabbed him, What that means is that I've just wasted my crowd control on him, because I'm going to grab him once, I'm going to knock him down, which is what most people do, and then I'm going to do this, but I've just lost the extra crowd control that I could have had on him, because you can't go from a standard level 3 grab and push him into the ground and then use a daze and knock him straight back down. It doesn't work. That's not how it works. But you can knock him down like that and then grab him and then go back to your powerful ability and place more damage. Alright, now I want to explain how the biggest ability works that we have that's going to be a massive damage dealer. Most giants that I've played against, they always grab their opponent and then they go in and they use their fearsome. Yes, it does some damage, but see there, I had 6 strikes of my foot that comes down to place the damage. By the 3rd strike, meaning the animation period, he was already back up on his feet. So he could actually grab me if it was a warrior, or he would jump back as a ranger, whatever it may be. He would roll away and I would lose half my damage of my main ability. To avoid that, you need to be able to get on him when he hasn't got crowd control attached to him already. So there's a couple of methods that we can do that. We can either run to him, okay, and then we just cast our B on him by cancelling the charge in hopes that you actually get him, okay, because this will knock him down and then it brings him to you while doing lots of damage. Or you can play a little bit smart and use all your abilities. If you're charging at him or you're nearby him, okay, and if he's running, you dash, you press A, it stuns him, and it doesn't do a 3rd level or a 2nd level dash, a crowd control. It just does the basic one. So if I do this and I just hit him, it stops him from moving, okay, that's all I want. Then you run into then you press this one. What's this done? It's knocked him down and I've gotten 5 hits of my foot slamming down on him for DPS worth. You never want to use the 6th one though. The reason being is that you need to have that outplay ability against other people. So on the 5th animation, you roll away, okay, and then you come back in with a different ability, attacking him from a different angle. Okay, so there's one more ability that I haven't really spoken about in this kit yet, but it does actually play a crucial part. But it's not really a damage dealer, it's more of a simple crowd control and also something for you to apply pressure. So if your enemy is running from you, or he's trying to, as a warrior, trying to swing at you and line you up to get a charge off, you need to use this ability here. What it's going to do is it allows you to jump up in the air, and whilst you're up in the air, you are supposed to be invincible. So unless you're lagging, you're not going to take damage unless you're actually on the ground. But it makes it so we can get on top of him, and it's almost like another charge, while also casting a bound on him when they get hit. And you can control which angle you come at. So yeah, it's very useful because you get them in a corner and you jump from side to side, they get knocked over, you come in with a simple swing like so, you pick him back up, throw him around a few times, and then you're back into your damage dealer, run away, and then you come back out again, like so. Alright, hopefully that gives you a better idea of what this build's all about and some of the basic combinations and how they actually work. Just remember guys, don't always go straight for the grab. That's the rookie mistake that giants make, is that they think that once they've got on the ground, they're going to lay into damage. You don't do that. You always want to use your A or your X, which is for me controller, to knock them down, and then at that point that's when you use your grab, because you get an extra wallop on them from the grab. Then you can also lay into them with another ability. That wraps up today's video, guys. Please consider subscribing to the channel, liking and commenting what you found useful in this guide. Now, a little bit of sellout, please also have a look at our website. We have a one that we've recently done. It's called www.VarietyMMOs.com, and it really helps Weeb and I to just get our brand out there a little bit more and show you guys we don't just do BDM, we do other stuff as well. So we'd love to have you along for the ride. Now, I've also just chucked some PvP videos that I recently recorded and put on the end here, so you can see some of the combinations that I've hopefully been able to teach you in action. Now, you can't always do the exact combinations because sometimes it's about the cooldown of all your abilities and stuff. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed the fights. Yeah, that's it.